You've seen the diets, read the books, heard the claims, eat like our ancient ancestors. But what if everything you thought about the paleo diet was based on a massive misunderstanding? What if our true ancient ancestors ate things that would make today's paleo gurus gasp in disbelief? Okay, let's talk paleo. The popular idea is simple. Eat like people did in the Stone Age. Lots of lean meat, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables. And definitely no grains, no dairy, no legumes, no processed foods. The idea is that our bodies are best suited for this original human diet. It sounds logical, right? Go back to basics. But here's the thing. The paleo diet, as we know it today, that single clear set of rules, that's largely a modern invention. It's a blueprint based on a very specific idea of ancient eating, not the incredibly diverse and flexible reality of how humans truly survived for millions of years. This is the core truth you need to understand. There was no single paleo diet. Not one. Imagine living 20,000 years ago. Are you living in the freezing Arctic hunting seals? Or in the scorching African savanna, digging for roots? Or by a bustling river in Asia, fishing? The food available in each of those places will be wildly different. Our ancient ancestors were the ultimate adaptable eaters. They ate what was available, what they could find, what they could hunt or gather in their specific environment. So, the diet of a Stone Age person in East Africa looked nothing like the diet of a Stone Age person in Ice Age Europe. The idea of one universal paleo diet for all humans is simply not true. Now, let's address the biggest misconception, that ancient humans were primarily meat eaters, constantly hunting woolly mammoths. While hunting was important, the vast majority of their calories came from plants. Think about it. Hunting was dangerous, often unsuccessful, and required a lot of energy. Gathering plants, while sometimes tedious, was much more reliable. Women and children were often the primary gatherers, bringing in a steady supply of wild fruits, berries, nuts, seeds, tubers, and leafy greens. These were the true daily staples. In many ancient societies, meat was more of a bonus, a seasonal feast, or a source of valuable fat and protein when available, not an everyday meal for everyone. The plant kingdom was their supermarket. Here's another bombshell. The modern paleo diet strictly bans grains. But guess what? Our ancient ancestors were absolutely eating grains long before farming began. Before the invention of farming, about 10,000 years ago, people were gathering wild grains. We have archaeological evidence of Stone Age humans collecting and processing wild barley and wheat as far back as 23,000 years ago. They were grinding these grains into flour to make simple flatbreads or porridges. These aren't the refined, processed grains we eat today, of course. But they were grains nonetheless, full of carbohydrates, which are vital for energy, especially for people who are constantly on the move. So, the idea that grains are inherently bad for ancient humans is simply incorrect. Let's get real about meat consumption. Hollywood loves to show our caveman ancestors constantly chasing down giant beasts. But the reality was far more nuanced and often much less meaty. Hunting large animals was incredibly difficult and dangerous. Success wasn't guaranteed, and it required immense energy and coordination. So, while a big kill meant a huge feast for the tribe, it didn't happen every day or even every week for most ancient groups. Many ancient diets relied heavily on smaller game like rabbits, birds, lizards, and especially fish and shellfish, particularly in coastal regions. Scavenging from animal kills made by predators was also a common, safer way to get meat and nutrient-rich bone marrow. So, while meat was prized, it was often a precious resource, not a constant buffet. Okay, prepare yourself for a surprising ancient superfood that almost no one talks about today. What if I told you that one of the most reliable and nutritious protein sources for our ancient ancestors was bugs? Yes, that's right. Insects, grubs, ants, crickets, beetles were a vital part of the human diet for millions of years. They are packed with protein, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. They're easy to catch compared to a mammoth, and they reproduce quickly. Many cultures around the world still eat insects today, and for good reason. They are incredibly efficient and nutritious. So, while the modern paleo diet definitely skips this part, our ancient ancestors were not afraid to get their protein from a truly ancient and often overlooked source. So, if there wasn't one paleo diet, what was the real secret to ancient human eating? It wasn't about a strict list of foods. It was about one word: adaptability. Humans spread across every continent, from the frozen poles to the hottest deserts. We survived by being incredibly flexible with our diets. We learned to use fire to make tough foods edible, to invent tools to hunt and gather more efficiently, and to exploit whatever resources our environment offered. Our bodies are generalists. Unlike animals that only eat a specific type of food, humans can thrive on a wide variety of diets. This amazing ability to adapt our eating habits is what allowed us to survive and flourish for so long, not a single unchanging food plan. The biggest shift in human diet happened about 10,000 years ago with the agricultural revolution. This is when we stopped being just hunters and gatherers and started farming. Suddenly, food was more reliable, and people started settling down. This meant a huge increase in cultivated grains like wheat, barley, and rice. And crucially, it meant the widespread use of dairy products from domesticated animals like cows and goats. Many populations, especially in Europe and parts of Africa, developed the ability to digest lactose into adulthood. This wasn't a paleo food, but it became a vital part of many human diets, offering massive nutritional benefits. So, our diets kept evolving long after the Stone Age. So, what's the real takeaway from the ancient diet? It's not about trying to perfectly copy one specific paleo diet. It's about understanding the core principles that kept our ancestors healthy. First, eat real, unprocessed food. Our ancestors ate whole foods, straight from nature. Second, variety is key. They ate a huge range of plants and animals. Third, eat seasonally and locally. They ate what was available around them. And finally, constant movement. They were always active, using energy, which is just as important as the food itself. The truth about the ancient diet is far more fascinating and flexible than any modern diet trend could ever tell you. Our ancestors were survivors, innovators, and incredibly adaptable eaters. And that is the true legacy of the human diet. If you enjoyed uncovering these ancient ways, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Ancient Ways Discovered, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. We'll be diving into more incredible ancient secrets very soon.